Alright, so I'm about to unbox 5 special edition smartphones, each one higher value than the last. And in total, you're looking at $100,000 worth of phones. So, the highest budget video I've done by a very long shot. Starting with the HTC Exodus One S, which at $250 is gonna seem like pennies compared to the later phones, but it's still pretty wacky. Actually, I will say this, pretty nice packaging for a $250 phone. They call this the crypto phone, which I'll explain in a second, but spec-wise, it's actually a little behind what you normally get for $250. A 720p display on the front and a mid-range Snapdragon 435 chipset. This phone is all about one feature. You've probably heard of Bitcoin. You can think of it as a currency that a lot of people have purchased in the last few years in the hope that its value will rise, so they can sell it again. This is the first smartphone to have full Bitcoin node support, which basically means that whilst you normally have to go through a bank or an exchange to buy and sell Bitcoin, this phone is secure enough to do it directly through it. Pretty cool. Next up is, at twice that price, a phone you might have actually seen before. This is the Gundam Limited Edition Oppo Reno Ace. I took one look at this limited edition online and thought, we have to get it on this video. Alright, so pretty normal looking so far from the front. Wow, that is so much better in person. It is gold, silver, blue, red. It's a lot of things at once, and I do not hate that. And underneath the phone and the other layers, you actually get one of the nicer smartphone cases I've seen bundled with a product. If you actually look carefully, it's ridged in certain places, and it has a couple of Gundam references which I think are lost on me. USB-C charging cable, and arguably the star of the show, a 65-watt super fast charger, able to fully charge this phone in 30 minutes flat. Now, before we start getting really pricey, for an extra $200 you can get yourself this. Well, actually, this plus all of this. This is the Xiaomi Black Shark 2 Pro, plus its entire gaming bundle. And this is similarly spec'd to the Reno Ace we just looked at, but it can do a few extra cool things. Let's see what we get inside the box. So it's kind of lightly textured on the front. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that would be my colour of choice. This is Iceberg Grey, and I think greys and whites are actually kind of overlooked on smartphones. They do a great job of hiding fingerprints, and they look clean. It also comes with a gamepad attachment, power adapter, and also a case. That is such a good colour combination. You've got matte grey, followed by glossy grey, and then these kind of blue highlights in the middle, and that continues all the way around the phone. You even got the blue rims on the front here. In a weird way, as well as looking just out the box crazy, it also looks kind of understated. It kind of feels though, like even though this and the Reno both clearly had gamers in mind, the Reno's still somewhat trying to appeal to a broader market. Xiaomi doesn't really seem to care. They just want to make the ultimate gamer phone, and to assist in that objective, you get all of this stuff. One of the primary differentiators with the Black Shark is just the sheer number of accessories, and they fit together in a really complementary way. There are two gamepads, the left one and the right one, and whilst it does seem a little weird that the company sells the gamepads separately, they can work independently, but if you did buy both, the best way of using them together is with this. It's got a really nice grip on the back of it. You then slide both of those, I almost said Joy-Cons in, you slide both of those controllers in and you get something that looks like that. And this feels great. No flexing at all. There's no headphone jack on the phone, but if you did want to resolve that, there's also a 2-in-1 audio adapter. So that would essentially clip onto the back of the phone like that, and then allow you to plug headphones and a USB-C in at the same time. And then to top it all off, you can play your games on your TV using a USB-C to HDMI cable. It's easy to forget, but our modern smartphones, especially ones like this, have already exceeded the power of last generation consoles. So when outputting to a TV, you might be surprised by the result. It is clever marketing, having a really affordable base smartphone with tons of attractive accessories to get on top of it, but at the same time, all of this together is less than $1,000 flagships, so it's not something to complain about. Now, moving from the expensive high-end category to the ultra-expensive luxury category. We've got this one. You might have heard of a company called Caviar. They try to unite technology with exclusive luxury. And they have gone hard with this package. It is worth around $11,000 just for this alone, which, by the way, absolutely pales in comparison to the one coming afterwards, but it's still a lot of money. So this is actually from Russia, and someone has flown from Russia to London just to be able to post this to get to me, which is crazy. It is incredibly heavy for a smartphone box. It's got Caviar Russia written on the front there in kind of embossed gold text. I don't know what to expect. Okay, another box. Okay, that just got a whole lot more premium. We've got what looks like a leather box with more gold text here, and this feels fantastic. The stitching is on point, I suppose, as you'd expect. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Can you see that? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna come to that in a second. We should have a few other cool things in here. Let's start with this. So there's like a little brochure that tells you other smartphones that Caviar produces. There's the hand-signed international warranty card, and you also get an international certificate of ownership. Wow. So inside, 3 more boxes. Oh, okay. So that's just a power brick. In here... Ooh, okay, so this is a matte black, gold embossed AirPods Pro, I believe. Yeah, look at that. That is nice. And I guess, I'm assuming this will be a cable. Yeah, so standard Apple cable there. Oh, and actually, worth noting is this. This is Caviar's own signature SIM ejector tool, and it's actually meant to represent a sturgeon, which is a type of fish, which links back to caviar as a brand name, because caviar means fish eggs. Most importantly, though, the smartphone. And this is a 256 gig iPhone 11 Pro with a twist. Oh god, it's so heavy. It's been built to remember the Titanic, that massive ocean liner that hit an iceberg and sunk over 100 years ago now. And I suppose, as you'd expect given the price, the company hasn't spared much expense here. The main body is made from blackened titanium, and interestingly, there's no camera bump anymore, because the whole back sticks out. And to be honest, I like it. I'm torn as to whether or not it's a better implementation than the original Apple camera bump. But it's nice to see that this is not just a lazy paint job. They really have built a custom smartphone. There is a lot more to this phone though. It depicts a scene with waves and an anchor below it to remind people of what happened that day. There's moving parts. These rotors on the back, they actually rotate, and the name of the shipyard Titanic was built in is called Harland and Wolff. That is engraved on the back. There are just so many touches here. On the bottom you've got these 3 stamps. One says 11 Pro, the other says titanium, the material it's made from, and the other one is the Caviar logo. And finally, arguably the most important part of the smartphone is what is housed in this circle here. It is an actual fragment from the Titanic ship, which I suppose is getting more and more valuable over time, because, well, it's deteriorating at the bottom of the ocean. In fact, there's only 99 of these in the world, and right here it says this one is number 15. And now for the final phone. This is going to be crazy. Now, you've probably done the math. This entire unboxing is worth $100,000, and so far we've unboxed about $13,000 worth of stuff. So what is inside here right now is worth $91,030. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, a sub would be amazing. It's, as you can imagine, taken quite a lot to get this video together. Anyways, this last phone is also from Caviar, but this time trades exclusive luxury for something that is very literally out of this world. Mad. Okay. Oh yeah, so it's got the Caviar Russia logo on the top again. And another leatherette box. This one looks like it opens completely differently. Gosh. I'm physically nervous right now. I never dreamed of the day I could even touch a phone of this value, let alone film a video on one. I'm gonna assume it opens like this. There is so much gold on there. Right, here we go. Oh my days. Oh my god. Oh, wow. This is not meant to be touched. Look at this. That is unbelievable. Tell you what, I'm gonna have a quick look at what else comes in here, and then we'll get straight back to that. We've got the same cable and the same Sturgeon SIM ejector tool, but in this box also... What on earth is that? Oh, okay, that's a tool to adjust some part of this phone. Oh, we have a pair of normal AirPods this time, which are matte black, but no caviar branding on it. That's an interesting choice. I do like the idea of having matte earphones. It does resist fingerprints better than the traditional ones do. The final box is actually buried right in there. What has happened here? There we go. Oh. It's a charger. This is it. I don't even know where to grip it. Okay, it is very heavy, and let's talk about it. This phone is called the Universe 2 Diamond Gold, and as you can probably tell, it's got a space theme. So all these kind of rings you're seeing, they're meant to be the orbits of planets around a star, kind of like a simulated version of our solar system. And right in the middle here, this ticking sound you can now hear, that is from a working tourbillon, which is something that's used in traditional watches to negate the effects of gravity. So again, kind of links to that space theme. And I believe this goes in there, and it winds it up. That's amazing. I could do that for a long time. Oh, and internally we're looking at an iPhone 11 Pro Max with 512 gigs of storage, obviously, for $91,000. Probably the coolest part here is that each of these planets that is orbiting is represented by a gemstone. In fact, on the back of this phone alone, you've got 7 diamonds, 3 rubies, and 2 topazes. And keeping with that space theme, there's more. On the back of this phone alone, you've got a piece of the moon, you've got 3 meteorite fragments, and a part from a spaceship that's been orbiting. This black body is made from lab-engineered stone, and every bit of gold you see on here, pure gold. And to top it all off, you will notice that the lip of the iPhone is a little bit higher than normal, and that is because it is protected by sapphire glass. And you might know that sapphire is one of the hardest materials on the planet. It gets a 9 on the Mohs hardness scale, meaning that it can only be scratched by something equivalent to diamond. You're actually not going to get wireless charging anymore, but clearly that's far from the point here. This is all about exclusive luxury, the best materials. I don't think anyone buying this is going to be too bothered by that. A lot of these caviar phones, they're made in batches of 100, sometimes 10, and they're sometimes one of a kind. So yeah, the $100,000 unboxing. I can't believe we just did that.